You know, when you're fishing that frog in the springtime, you got a lot of different options. And like today, I'm just taking the perfect frog and I'm covering as much water as I can. The perfect frog works really good for situations like this right here, where I'm gonna be in and out of cover, on the outside edges of cover, way up inside cover. So the perfect frog works really good. Fat frog's also a great shot, but you know, I can only throw one frog at a time. The smash mouth, if I'm really clued into exactly where they're going to be, then I'll pick up the smash mouth. I got to be pretty specific with my throws when I'm throwing up into tight cover with the smash mouth, because it's got that shovel nose. And so if I'm coming through wood and obstructions and all, it builds up on that nose a little bit. I don't use this for the heavier cover. I like this on the outside edge, but when I know exactly what they're on willow trees, on a 10-degree sloping bank or a 20-degree sloping bank or a button willow. If I got an ironwood tree, they're usually growing like a 45-degree slope. If I have that money, that's where I throw this. Specific spots. I'm throwing it in there and letting it sit. Pop, pop, stop. Ooh, and a lot of times that's when they get it. And especially the new bullfrog in the springtime. Love that color scheme. Love the orange. That yellow, duckling, hey, we're getting there. They'll bite duckling right now, but they'll really bite it in about another 4 weeks. You know, frog fishing is one of the greatest ways to learn a ton about the largemouth bass as a species. If you get good with your frog, or just mediocre to good with your frog, you will start to open your mind up to how available these fish are. You will find yourself saying to yourself, I can't believe how shallow that fish was. I cannot believe that I didn't see that fish before I made the cast. Where did that fish come from? That fish was in 8 inches of water. A 10-pound bass is only 7 and a quarter, 7.5 inches tall for the most part. So 9 inches, 10 inches, 12 inches of water is plenty of water for these guys. You just got to open your mind to it. Once you open your mind to how shallow these bass will get, now your presentation becomes critical. Now stealth has to become part of your fishing game, a huge part of it. You're fishing for shallow bass, very aware of outside noises. That's why you'll see wakes take off or mud trails. Ooh, oh, I spooked that one. You're being too loud. You dropped your rod. You hit your trolling motor too hard, put your trolling motor on the lowest speed that you can get away with when you're fishing this shallow. There will be times where you can set yourself up. I want to fish that bank. The wind's coming from this direction here. I'm going to put the wind at my back, and I'm just going to let the wind push me down. Every once in a while, I'm going to tap the trolling motor and redirect my drift, and I'm going to get as many shots as I can. That's about as stealthy as you can get when you let the wind just push you along. Once you've opened your mind to how shallow these fish will actually get, then you need to start working on the mechanics of the casting. One of the greatest ways to take advantage of super duper shallow bass is to learn how to cast. And I mean, learn how to cast. Folks that don't pay much attention to their casting mechanics and their casting is sloppy or just not that good, you will leave so much meat on the bone. I want every single opportunity to be as good as I possibly can. The most important thing when you start to lock in, there's certain types of trees that they prefer. It's a willow tree, it's a hardwood tree, it's a dogwood tree, and whatever it may be, you're putting that pattern together. Oh, that's very key. They want those types of trees. They want those types of tules or bulrushes or reeds or whatever it may be. That type of, it's got to have some primrose. You start to get all the ingredients to where these guys are that deep. So every single time I get an opportunity to that, I want to make the best cast that I possibly can in that situation. The first throw is the most important one. It's got to be as good as you can make it every single time. They're so aware of their surroundings. They're always looking out. When they're that shallow, they're looking. A lot of times you will notice that as soon as your frog hits, oh, they're on it, because it's like they're checking out 220 degrees in front of them, you know. They just sweep it like this. It's almost like they're sitting out there in center field, waiting for the fly ball to come to them. I mean, you will butter that frog in there, and it will get there, and oh, they will get it as soon as it touches. Sometimes you're lifting it over a branch, and they will occasionally come up there and get it when it's just dangling out of the water. Doesn't happen very often, but when it happens, it's like, oh, that is just the coolest thing. Sticks right here forever. You remember that bite forever. That's the magic of topwater. Those specific moments in time are so special. They're so cool because it's all visual and it's all happening right in front of you. And it's the most exciting way to catch these things.